G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, how you going? Today I'm going to work on my Juniper. I did a bit of work on this Juniper probably, I don't know, maybe 5 months ago in a video. And now it's time to do some more work on it. As you can see, it's grown pretty bushy. It's time for a trim back. So I'm going to get into all these pads and make them more defined again, thin them out, clean underneath, round the top. I may even get inside the actual pad itself and thin out the inside foliage to make it look a bit more mature, because if it doesn't have all the foliage on the inside, to make it look more like a pom-pom, which makes it look more like a pom-pom, and you clean out the inside and you can see some of that branch structure in there. So long as that branch structure is mature enough, it'll make the tree look older. But if your branch structure on the inside of those pads is too immature and not really, you know, old enough, or the bark still looks very young, then it's not really time to clean out the inside properly like that. But if you've got mature bark on the inside and you clean out some of that inside growth, it will definitely make the tree look a bit more mature, a bit less juvenile. Yeah, roundabout way of saying. Very complicated way of saying to thin it out to make it look more mature. Anyway, fairly complicated way of saying it, but anyway, I hope you understand what I was trying to say. But yeah, I'll get into it. I'll demonstrate one pad, or maybe not a whole pad, because it will take a while to do a whole pad. This is literally one tree here, which is it's not overly big, to be honest. It's only maybe 45 to 50 centimeters high, maybe 10 to 15 pads on it. This tree here will literally take 3 hours. So I'll do pretty much most of it on hyperlapse. This takes a long time to do it. I'll just try and do a bit of a close-up of one pad, if I can, if I'm good enough. And yeah, after I do one pad, then I'll put on hyperlapse and do the rest. So, as you can see, this whole top section, it almost looks like one whole tree now. It's that bushy. So I'm going to get in there and define this pad, and hopefully you'll be able to see the pad come to shape. I might have to speed this up in the video, so you may not have too much in the way of talking. I'm not sure how fast I can get this done, but it takes a while, because you don't want to be cutting like a hedge and just trimming it off. You want to be cutting in the middle of leaves, so that you don't get browning off. Otherwise it'll brown off if you don't cut in the middle of leaves. So you've got to be really careful about every cut on a juniper. And you can hedge them off, but it goes brown, and quite frankly it's a bit lazy. I mean, I must admit, in the early days I used to just hedge this whole thing, but now that it's a little bit more developed, I get in there and try and cut in between the leaves on the stem or the branch. I guess you could maybe call it a branch. So you're just trying to cut. Hang on, where's this here? So you just want to get in there and cut in between the leaves. See that? In between the leaves there. Rather than cut right on a leaf like that. Then you'll stop some of the browning. You'll probably still get some browning, but nowhere near as much. Also here, because it's so healthy and growing so well, there can be up to 3 or 4 shoots from each little branch coming out. So it'll be up to me to get in there and reduce it back to 2 at each location, rather than have 3 coming out. It could be, yeah, like I say, if this doesn't look good on the replay, I might have to just fast forward this bit and just add it into the hyperlapse, I think, but because it is a bit boring, a bit tedious sort of work. I enjoy doing this type of work, this trimming, but to look at, it's a bit like watching paint dry, you know. I'm just trying to give you a bit of an idea on where you're trying to achieve, or what you're trying to achieve, sorry, where you want to cut. Yeah, so I've had this in training for maybe 6 or 7 years, this Juniper Nana. Juniper Nanas are traditionally, they're pretty well frowned upon as a bonsai because, well, I don't know why. They reckon they're too healthy, they're drought tolerant, you know, they can handle hot days, they can handle a bit of a freeze. So that's why they're not liked as a bonsai. If you can work that out, let me know, because I would have thought all of those were good attributes for a bonsai, but apparently I think they're just not enough of a challenge for some people. Some people want more of a challenge, so these are just too easy, so they're not really looked at as a bonsai as much. But for an amateur like me, I quite like them. They're very hardy, grow fast, do what you like to them, and they just keep on powering along. If you get a little tip like this, you can just pull it out, sort of pinch it out, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'll just go through and do this to 1 pad. I'm just going to do 1 pad, and then I'll put it on hyperlapse. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of people don't think of these as much of a stock tree. I mean, this one here is not very old, so it doesn't have a very good trunk, but they can get quite good trunks on a Juniper Nana. You can get some nice foliage on after a while as well. Create a more mature look. Some really nice, if you look them up, there's some really nice examples of them out there, but in general they're not really used a lot. Everyone's after the Shimpaku or some of the other types of juniper, but for me, if it's easy to look after and puts on a lot of growth for you, why not? A little bit spiky to work with, they do prick you a little bit, especially if you were to leave all these needles. If you were to leave all these needles in the on the ground of your workshop or wherever you want to do it, and then you walk barefoot a few days later when they've all dried off, good luck, I say. They'll poke your feet pretty well, almost like splinters, like walking on jacks. Yeah, so this is getting close to 1 pad done. I'm going to keep because I got the camera so close, it's very hard to not keep blocking the camera when I trim something. Trying my best. Sometimes that's just not good enough. And you got the shadows going over it all. Pretty hard sometimes. Getting down to the final stages of this pad. Alright, try and get it to where you can see that pad. I'll try and block the rest out. See, that's that pad trimmed underneath. After I've finished this video, I'm going to experiment by cleaning some of the inside. I'll show you what I mean. The inside of these pads are very cluttered and very messy. I'm not sure whether this is mature enough yet to clean them out, but I'll give it a bit of a go at the end of the video and just show you a bit of that. But for now, in the hyperlapse, I'm just going to go and do all these pads. So there you can see I've done one pad. Bottom's flat, top's curved. Now I'm going to go and do the rest of them like that. No worries. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the hyperlapse and a bit of music. And yeah, I'll get back to you after a bit more trimming and a couple more ports. Thanks for watching. welcome back. I've done most of the trimming of the pads. A few little daggy bits around, but mostly it's done. Yeah, as you can see, massive pile here. I reckon I've taken off, without joking, probably 70% of the foliage, but as you can see, there's still a lot on there. And it grew that foliage in probably only 5 months. 5 months ago, it probably had about what it's got left now, maybe less. Yeah, I've decided it's probably too early to go in and clean out some of these pads here. If you were to go and do it, what you would do is you'd take off all these old bits of needles stuck on there, but as you can see, it's probably not quite ready. And if you're a bit lazy like me, see, that'll show the branches if you got rid of all that. And then you go in there and trim out all these little bits. Trim out anything that's crowding the branch structure. So as you can see, just picking away there for a few minutes, well, seconds really, has cleared that up a bit. So you would go through and do that everywhere, pinch it all out, all the inside stuff. But me being who I am, a bit slack, I'm going to leave it. Naturally, anything that's a little shoot that's green in there will die out because it won't get any sun. Also, scaly sort of old leaves will die off anyway, they'll fall off anyway. So I'm going to leave it for now. Maybe next time, when I've got a bit more time, I'll do that, because I've spent a couple hours doing this now and I've got to get to bed. So for now, I'm not going to worry about it, but you can if you want to. It'll probably open it up a bit more and look a bit more ancient or whatever, rather than just a fairly young looking tree. But as you can see, that's pretty much the process. So hang on, I'll just give you a quick, I forgot to give you a spin of the tree, hang on. Yeah, so it's up to you guys. You can go through, clean it out if you want to. It'll let more light in, it'll be healthier for the tree probably in the long run if you did. I'll probably wait another year until this matures a bit more, and then I'll go through and clean it out, because as you can see, it's very congested in there. You can't really see any branch structure, but like I say, naturally the branch structure will come out in the end anyway. Yeah, I'll give you a quick spin of the tree. Yeah, it's been in training for, I'm not quite sure really, 6 years maybe. It's one of my first ones. It was a cascade at one stage. I've turned it into a informal upright. Yeah, so that's pretty much the front there, I think. As you can see, there's from the side, you can see the whole tree's leaning towards the front. Could maybe bring one of these back pads down a bit just to fill in that bald patch at the back. A bit bald there. As you can see, the side branch, the main front side branch here, actually comes from the back and twists around, because when I made this, there wasn't a shoot where I wanted one, so I just bent that one around. It's actually thickened up a lot. That was only a really thin shoot when I first bent it. So it's amazing when you look back and see, you know, how thick that's getting now. I find the junipers are also, the nanas are also good as far as not being too apically dominant, so the lower branches still get plenty of health fatten up nicely. You're not always trying to fight to keep the top down so the bottom can grow. Yeah, they're a good beginner tree, which is, you know, partly the reason I got a couple of them. No worries. Cheers for watching. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please share, like, subscribe. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.